Well, welcome to Bozeman, Montana, Tim and Dustin. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, doing great.
Yeah, it's thanks for having us out here. We get to see the sun a little bit.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the land that winter forgot.
Yeah.
It looks like winter here. I don't know if Montana, like some tectonic plate, migrated further south and we're maybe I don't know. Maybe we're at the same latitude as New Mexico or something. But
There's a little snow coming in on the mountaintops, but then it's just sort of, this beautiful paradise opened up and we're in Montana.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that Bozeman was going to be warmer than Beaverton in January.
Yeah. You know what's good about it? I've only used my snowblower once, and I was on Christmas Eve, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hit a rock. And
Oh, no.
I get my spindle or whatever it is, the shaft. I can tell it's wobbling. I think I blew out the bearing on that rock. Yeah.
You didn't launch it through a windshield or anything?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't do that, Tim. So, folks, if I look frustrated, it's because we just did a podcast here, me and Tim and Dustin, and my media card filled up, and I don't have like a big flasher that says media card full. And these guys saw the look on my face. I looked down, it's not recording. I'm like, how can that be? So I popped the media card out and went through it on my computer and found out we made it through the weather report. We have like 5 minutes on that media card before it was full. It's
realistically, what you were trying to do was let us get some of the things that we were going to say. Like Dustin did great, but I'm glad we had a warm-up.
All right. Well,
nobody knows what.
So I'll try my best to remember what we had covered and what we haven't covered. And the audience, I'm sure, is listening to this in Newberg. I think senility has taken over.
I disagree. I don't think so.
Yeah. I was thinking if I got senile enough, I could become a political candidate.
You got a long ways to go.
Oh,
yeah.
But anyhow, Tim Lesser, you are the VP of Product Development and Marketing. Can I get that
Correct.
right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Best job in the world, you always tell me.
It is, honestly. It is the best job that I can even think of.
Yeah.
So we get to think of new ideas, and then we get to talk about them and go get feedback on them. Yeah.
And then go shoot and hunt with them.
Hunt, shoot, and then try to make them even better.
Yeah. And Dustin, you are the Senior Director of Engineering. I get that right?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And tied for the best job in the world.
Tied.
Just with Tim there. So
how are we going to break the tie? In hockey they have a shootout.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be the goalie for you.
If we're going to have a shootout, I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
Because he's good at the marketing stuff, and I'm a terrible engineer.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we're really going to be honest about this, he's going to win.
All right. So you get to lead this massive team of engineers. How many engineers you got over there?
Yeah, there's about 88 engineers in Beaverton, Oregon.
Like 80?
Yeah. Yeah, and that spans across the optical design team, electronics, so everything down to resistors and circuit boards and displays and optics, which we'll talk more about, I'm sure, and then just design, so bringing that all together in a metal housing with adjustments and everything else, and then a whole other team that figures out how to then make it on a CNC machine and assemble it together. So the manufacturing teams of engineers that are focused down on the shop floor, and the development team around that as well, because we love to draw up and invent new things that we then scratch our heads on how we were going to make it. So it's great to have that team to keep us all in check and help us out every once in a while when we really stretch ourselves. So
and you just have to slap a lifetime warranty on everything.
That's right. Yeah, it just has to last.
And then
last a warranty.
Tie it onto something that recoils violently forever.
Yeah, I expect it to last forever.
Yeah.
They do great work.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's always great when I get to come over and see you guys. How many accountants you guys got working there? I mean, if this is like the world's greatest dream job, I could come out of retirement as an accountant,
We would love to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys make me sit at a desk. And when I told you I needed 100 days off a year to hunt, you probably wouldn't.
We only hire accountants that tell us where the good hunting spots are, I think he'd fit right in.
Yeah, our accountants seem to do a fair amount of hunting.
One of your
At least one of them.
One of your accountants is the luckiest guy I know at drawing tags, other than Tim.
Yeah.
Is it something? Is it like clean living, or is it the water in Beaverton? Or
I think I burned an entire lifetime's worth of bad luck. So I never nothing. Door prizes, go to like Cub Scout. My brother was big into Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Every person through the door would get some kind of a door prize,
Right.
except me.
Yeah, they ran out.
Just always. I never won anything ever, and I used to be able to talk about that. And then I drew the sheep tag in Oregon, and then next year a moose tag in Idaho, and I feel like no one wants to hear me complain anymore.
Don't.
And I will trade a lifetime of not winning anything, drawing anything. That's if I have to use all my luck for an entire lifetime on those two things, perfect.
Yeah. How many sheep tags have you drawn?
None so far, but he made it look easy, so I figured, it can't be that hard, right?
Yeah. How many moose tags have you drawn?
0, yeah.
Yeah.
I apply for stuff. I usually get, there's a second choice or second option, right, that allows you to hike around in the woods with the weapon.
Yeah.
But, that's usually what I win, is that one. Yeah. Do a lot of hiking, looking around and get to hold the gun.
Yeah. Well, this is the accountant nerding out here in the audience knows I'm a nerd, but I have a spreadsheet that keeps track of all these states I've applied for going back a long time. And I have a running total of how many sheep applications me and Matthew, who's now 35, we've done in our lifetime. And last year's application cycle, we're just getting into the new application cycle. We got into the 320s. And we have drawn 0 sheep tags, Tim.
So you've applied for more than 300 sheep tags.
Yeah, between us.
Yeah.
And we have drawn 0 sheep tags. So, but next year.
That's
Hey, somebody's got to win.
Always have to keep putting it.
There you go.
At some point, somebody's got to. It's usually this guy, but somebody's got to win.
Yeah. You want to know part of why Leupold has such a good brand and why it's such a successful company? It's because you guys don't let the accountants run the joint. No, I mean, when private equity comes and takes over a company, the accountants are the one they let run the joint. And that's the worst thing you can do. Accountants will ruin a brand in 2 years, maybe 3 if they got enough tailwind. So, word to the wise, don't let the accountants run your business.
That is, we're very fortunate in that aspect, being family run, and we're really interested in future, right? So when we look at this, turning this company into something that future generations will be proud of. But I mean, the consumer, the hunters, shooters, passion, that whole thing is the only reason that we're even here. And that company and the shareholders and the owners of that company get it. They grew up doing this stuff. It's their passion as well. And so we're blessed to be able to go out and do what we love and we know the consumers love to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
And that's very freeing.
No wonder you guys are tied for the best jobs in the world.
Yep. It's true.
Everyone listening is going to be like, I'm going to polish up my resume, see if I can move over to Beaverton, Oregon.
Come on over.
Yeah. But part of your job, because next week we're all going to Lost Wages, as I call it, Las Vegas. My wife is from Vegas, so I can ridicule Vegas. Yeah, Kim is from Vegas, Valley High School. If I got to drive by Valley High School one more time while I'm in Vegas, this is where I went to high school. I know, honey, I could find it in the dark, blindfolded. Anyhow, all you Valley High School grads down in Vegas, you know you're the Vikings. Okay, you want to know a really funny side story to this? So I'm watching the Atlanta Braves back when they were really good in the 90s or whatever, and there's this pitcher, and Kim's like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching the World Series. This guy, this Greg Maddux guy, man, he is the thing. I can't believe he can. He's not like overpowering anyone. He just knows where to put place the pitch. She's like, I went to school with a Greg Maddux guy.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, is that him? Yeah. I'm like, honey, you picked the wrong person. You missed the train, woman. anyhow, that had nothing
professor.
to do with anything other than I end up in Vegas a lot more than I'd like to. And then when SHOT Show comes around, it's like, all right, I know I got to do it. I know I'm going to get sick. I'm not going to schedule anything for the week after SHOT Show because I'm going to come back with the Shanghai chicken flu or something. I'll be on antibiotics and cough medicine and who knows what else. Eating chicken soup and broth for a week. Also, we can go to SHOT Show.
Yeah. It's it's a great show, but it is a bit like jump starting your immune system right at the beginning of the year. Like here, we're just going to bombard every component of your immune system, just to keep you up and going, And so it's like a polar plunge or some kind of run a marathon to get things up and going. It's like cardio for your or heavy weight resistance.
Yeah. Do you think that we could put money on whether or not we'll come home healthy or sick?
I think you can put money on it. I don't know who's going to take the healthy.
Yeah.
It's about 50-50 or so, right?
Yeah.
A little bit better than, trying to draw a sheep tag.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyhow, when we're down there, you guys, as always, like every company down there, uses that as a little bit of a product release show, meeting with a lot of your customers and other stuff. And I had to get the invitation to come to Leupold's, whatever you guys call them. I'm not going to say grand opening, but rollout of a new product.
Yeah, that's where a lot of our product launches are.
Yeah, and so I just kind of stand up back in the corner of your booth there and watch and entertain myself with how many people show up when you guys release a product. So I can't remember if it was last year or the year before when you guys released the Mark IV.
Yeah, it would have been 2
years ago.
2 years ago. Yep.
I was up. You guys have and I don't know if you still do, but that year you had like an upstairs meeting place, and I was out there meeting
kind of
with
2 stories.
Kaylee and your marketing team. And when I came out, I looked down, and there was hardly anybody at any other booth. They were all right below me down in the Leupold booth as you guys were announcing the Mark IV.
The Mark IV. We like it when that happens. Dustin and the team did a great job on that. It wasn't only the media. That was the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. There was, all the other booths were empty of all of our competitors as well in our booth. And you can always see when they come because they got, tools in their pocket and they're taking off dials and, they're trying to figure out how did they do this, right?
Yeah.
And, on the side too, right? There's sort of this nod, that they give as they sulk back to their spots. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys had everybody's attention. And I remember later on in that show, maybe like the Thursday of the show or something, I came back to the booth and you guys look like you've been working hard and wore out explaining new products to anyone who had a question.
Yep.
And Bruce, your CEO, is standing there. I'm like, well, how do you think it went on the Mark IV, Bruce? And he kind of whispered to me, I don't know if he was trying to keep it a secret or sheepish. He's like, I think we underpriced it. We sold probably 2 years worth of production in one day.
Well, that is something that I really do give a big, tip of the hat or a nod to our engineering team. Because when you go through and look at these things, trying to find that magic, that intersection of price and kind of performance, right?
That's where value is.
It's a tough thing to do, but when you get it right, and they did, boy, it really performs, and everybody wins in that scenario. Right? Everyone across the board, you're getting more than you paid for, right? Is kind of that's always the goal. It's just not always easy to achieve, and they did a lot of really cool things to get it there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cachet when you throw out Mark IV, right, and then you put on the HD on the end. And, there's a lot of expectations that come with that, right? And so, everybody they're doing what, right? And came into the booth and looked at the product. And it wasn't just, one scope or one SKU, right? This was a whole big line. So, it was definitely a major launch.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember what it was last year. Was it the VX6?
VX6 HD, the Gen 2, and then also kind of mid-year we had a VX5 HD Gen 2. And so those were on the rifle scope side, those were the big ones.
Yeah, I remember last year when you guys launched the VX6 Gen 2, and I walked over there and I saw that there was a throw lever on them, and all the new dials. It was zero lock 2 or
speed set zero
Speed,
locks.
yeah.
Yep. SZL2s.
I'm like, these are gonna, next time you guys do the VX5, these are gonna be on there, right? And some of your guys are like, I didn't get a firm answer. But then when you guys sent me my first Gen 2 VX5, they were there. And I'm like, is this just because you thought I was going to cry at Cha-Cha? Or is this like now a standard feature?
You busted us. You caught us.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if I did, but again, it's another iteration of a super high quality product that just gets better each time. And I guess a question to that is, we just talked about 2 of your product lines, or within the product line of rifle scopes. You got the Mark V, which is the top of the front focal plane stuff that you do a lot of military stuff, a lot of LEO with that. And then you come out with a Mark IV. You got a VX6, which is the top of your hunting scope line. And then you come out with a VX5, and the VX6 and the Mark V are as featureful, as quality as anything you could imagine, but they're at a different price point.
Yep.
And then you guys come in with this next, slightly, maybe not as robust of features, but as far as performance.
Right.
A guy like me is not going to max out any of it. And the price brings that, where you're talking, Tim, that value being the intersection of performance and price.
Yes.
All of a sudden on those two, the value proposition is like, whew, I beat that. Is that kind of the approach you guys take? Start with some, make the highest level we can at the best we can. What we learn from that then can get us either.
It is, yeah, and so you can look at it as 2 separate lines, but then the theory is kind of the same, right? So we want to start at that flagship or pinnacle type product, and then cascade things down. But you've also got kind of what I would call hunting and or shooting and professional type scopes. So first focal, the Mark V's, the Mark IVs, a lot of contract type scopes or shooting.
When you say contract, you mean like for the military?
Yeah, government contract, military, law enforcement. And then on the hunting side, you kind of have the VX6, the VX5, some of those. Well, each of those also learn from each other. So we have very extensive military history, and there's a ton of testing there. So your average hunter is not going to swim out of a torpedo tube in a submarine.
No, I'm not.
and so that's not something that you may go test for on something like your average VX5.
Right.
But our battery of tests stays the same, regardless of intended use. We build these things. Here was the intended purpose. This is kind of the design intent, but you use it however you want. And it works the other way as well. So some of the things that ranchers, right, out checking fence on a four-wheeler, that four-wheeler's running all day, and there's vibrations and other stuff that wouldn't necessarily be something that you would go test on, say, maybe a military contract. And those come together. So we learn from both sides. But then generally what we try to do is at the top of the line, what is the best product that we can make? I'll use Mark V as an example. There's a specific set of features that are needed for whatever the mission might be. So the government is looking for, the military, with just blanket statements, is looking for something that fits within this size envelope, does these things, and that may come down to actual, like, physical dimensions. Can only be this long, can only be that big around, whatever it is.
Right.
So we'll take, and that's what like a Mark V would be. So we come out, and that needs to fit on a shorter, smaller package. So go get this done. That is a very specific use case. We need room in front of it for, on the rail for night vision, for thermal, for whatever it may be for that mission. But then when you get to something like a Mark IV, we can look at that and say, well, give me the performance that you had on the Mark V, but I want to make it more common with something that we're building a lot of, right? So VX5, just as an example. So now if we take kind of the adjustment system and the performance characteristics of a Mark V, but then put it in the envelope, the main tube of a VX5. Well, those VX5s are turning all day, every day. And a Mark V, if we wanted to switch the machines, for example, making the main tubes, we may be down for 18 hours if we want to go from main tube A to main tube B.
A lot of cost.
A lot of opportunity cost. Yeah. But if we can then say, well, these VX6, VX5, and Mark IV main tubes have the same work envelope needs, then it runs the whole entire time. And so that's where, like you and I'm not going to notice that my Mark IV is, half an inch longer.
Right.
Just it performs the same when I look through it. It dials the same. It's just as repeatable. It's just as rugged. It's just as tough. So for me, that's the winner. Right. And so you get similar things on a VX6 versus a VX5. The VX6 has everything that you could ever need. The VX5 is kind of everything that you really need and nothing that you don't really need.
Right.
And so that's where that intersection comes in. And that's the philosophy. And it's easy for me to say, but Dustin and the team they have to go design it and execute.
Yeah, each time you do a full scope line like that, you just learn a tremendous amount, from the technical side, the engineering side, manufacturing side. So, the same guys and gals that did the Mark V were doing the Mark IV as well. And then, what's interesting, I think, about Leupold as well is that we do so many different types of scope lines, right? There's a lot of companies that just focus on, hey, more of a tactical front focal type of thing. And we kind of compete in, a whole breadth of different areas and use cases, from hunting, shooting, competition, military, all those, right?
Yeah.
And so we learn from each one. There's a lot of cross-pollination, crossover, the VX5 and 6 Gen 2s learned from the Mark V as well, with some changes to the main tube, competition style adjustments in there. And so, yeah, every time we approach a new project, we're bringing all that learning, and it's decades, right? It's not just the current people, but all the way back to, 60s. We can pull up blueprints, essentially hand-drawn scopes, right?
Engineering notebooks, we still have them.
We store all those and everything else, so we can look at how that, how main tubes, how erector systems evolved over that time. And it's fun. Every once in a while, you come up with an idea, and then you look back, and you're like, oh, yeah, somebody thought of that before we did, too, right? And, just that wealth of knowledge, right, building on the back of all these people that came before us is super unique to this company.
Yeah.
I mean, being in business over 100 years in optics and, focusing on rifle scopes for as many decades as we have, it's great to have that, right?
Yeah. Well, when I come there, I just marvel at it. Right? You guys probably get tired of me showing up. Hey, I'm in town. Can I come and see something new that's going on? Because every time I show up there, there's something different, something new.
Something's changed.
Your engineering team probably is like, oh no, here comes that knucklehead hunter from Montana. What the? Do we got to entertain his stupid questions again? But I appreciate that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, it's fascinating to go to your facility. And when I talk about my fascination with it and just a highlight of what it's like, I hope we don't get this big surge of people banging on your door saying, hey, I want to see this place that Newberg's been talking about. But when I go there, there's a lot of things that just stick to my mind. Is when I first started formally working with Leupold, even though I bought my first Leupold when I was 14, I didn't start these media platforms until 2008.
Okay.
And you guys saw that I had gold rings on the rifles I was shooting. I didn't know you guys from the Man in the Moon, and your marketing team is like, hey, thanks for doing that. Let's have coffee. And so, we've had this relationship, and I can't remember when I did my first factory tour. It was like 2014, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. But even the people that I was working with at Leupold before that, so many of them are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
It just remarkable that in the world where you talk to a lot of employers, oh, if I could get someone to stay 6 months, man, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's a special place. I've been there 23 years. I'm still one of the new guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just about every every week we're celebrating somebody's 20th, 30th, 40th, right? Or celebrating someone retiring with 40 plus years, 46 years of experience. And,
crazy.
you know, their parent worked there before them, and they're finishing up with 40 something years, right? So, yeah.
So how many people are there? 700, 750?
Right around 750.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're all in one location there.
Right.
So it's all kind of one campus is what I would call it, between the manufacturing and the distribution center. But we're basically all in one building. And yeah, 750 people right there. And when you need an answer to something, how does this work, Dustin? I mean, he's just around the corner and right above the machines. And that level of being fully integrated from, ideation, concept, clear through cut metal, through testing, through it just it breeds special learning, special output. There's a magic about the place that once you've had a taste, you don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Wow.
I just brought my son through the factory on a tour last week, and he's always talked about, hey, I want to work for Leupold as well. Asked him, hey, what job do you want? And surprisingly, it was, the guy on TV. So he was talking about you. That's the job he wanted, me at Leupold. So I said, me too. Me too.
Oh, well, tell them to go get an accounting degree.
Getting an accounting degree, and maybe it can happen to you too, right?
Yeah, and have a good day job.
Yeah. You need to be fully funded.
Yeah. He didn't really say that.
He absolutely did. That is a true story. Absolutely true story. Yeah, he's 9, right?
God.
But he is just, he's ready to go out there. He's been hiking around usually during bow season. I have 4 kids, and so they all come out usually one-on-one, right? So it's just that time with dad, and they love to get camoed up, face painted, and we're going hunting, right? But it's you're walking around in the woods a little bit, make a good experience, bring lots of snacks, right? And it's just okay to make noise and everything else. But they'll usually just sit in a log and eating their snacks and being out there. But they get turned on to it pretty quick. And
cool.
He's seen you a few times on TV. And he's like, you know what? That's the job I want.
Seems like a good gig. I like that.
Wow, man. Now I feel a lot of responsibility, Dustin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk in this country lately about American manufacturing. You guys have been living it, breathing it, doing it for decades.
Yep.
Yeah, I founded in 1907. Been building scopes since the 40s.
No one's going to come and talk to you guys about a lecture on American made and American manufacturing. And that is part of what, for me anyhow, is cool when I go there.
Yeah.
How many of your people have been there for so long, how much they care about everything they do. And then it also gets to a family-owned business, right? I know, and over the course of time, I've got to meet some of your family owners and some of those family members who work in the business, and you wouldn't know that they were part of the, you always think of this like nepotistic, so-and-so is a family member, we're going to give them whatever, the easy gravy job. Nope.
No, it's a family-owned business, and it's a passion, right? And so that whole idea of we all just want to come in and leave this place better than we found it. There have been generations and generations of people who poured their heart and soul into getting it to where it is, and we're happy to be a part of pouring our heart and our soul and blood and sweat and tears into trying to make it better than where we kind of found it or where we were invited in. And family member or not, we all have one common goal, and it is just to get better every day and help people go out and do the things that we all love, and so it's a special place.
Yeah. Well, as the world seems to be getting gobbled up by private equity, it looks like Pac-Man. Our hunting space is no exception, to that. No. And you guys haven't done that. I'm sure private equity bangs on the door on a regular basis, and you guys have that family ownership, multi-generational view of your role in the community, your role, your partnership with your employees.
Yep.
You're not just looking around, the first little role in the landscape. You guys are looking way over the horizon, and it shows. And that's why you have people who've been there for so long.
Yeah.
And it's just reflected in so much about the brand. So please
It
do.
is. Yeah, I mean, it's sixth generation.
Yeah.
So you get into that sixth generation, and everybody has a common goal, and yeah.
So when we go to SHOT Show next week, I promise that I won't bring anything with me. I have a sinus infection right now. That's probably coming with me because it hasn't cleared up. But I think you guys will be talking about some products down there that are, again, a new iteration. There's this binocular here that I have. This is the BX6 Range HD. Did I get that right?
You did. Nailed it.
That's right.
Wow. It's a good thing that Colin and Kaylee sent me the email about the exact term. Randy, we don't call it the range finding bino.
You can call it whatever you want.
But I got this sent to me in October, and it's a little bit dusted up, a little bit scuffed up.
Good. That's what we want.
Yeah. You guys had sent me a couple other, I don't know if you'd call it iterations of it, previous, like, is this like Gen 1 of the BX6, or is this like Gen 4?
We've been working on that one a while.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's a lot that goes into it, and Dustin can get into some of that, but it has to start with the optics. Period. For this at the BX6 level, it needs to be the best. Period. And so you go through and you figure out bit by bit by bit what we're trying to get done. And so this is the third one that you've been test driving.
Yep.
So we have to get it right, and so your feedback and your input, and we live this stuff. We eat, sleep, and breathe it, but it is also our full-time job, and so we're limited to in field time to nights, weekends, evenings, whatever that is, time off. So we need people that are out there testing it, and we keep cranking, and
Well, I'm just impressed that you guys still take my call or answer my email because I'm sure you guys would see me coming like, oh no, he's going to ask me when the final version of this is ready. And from that process and having been involved in some of your other processes over the last 18 years, Leupold seems to have this, until it's as good as we can do it, it's not good enough. And so you will hold some products back.
yes,
Tweaking that last little thing. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because like the ones you sent me 3 or 4 years ago, I'm like, oh, these would be ready to go today. People would be gobbling this up. And you guys are like, oh no, we got this. And Dustin seemed like, no, there's some things we're doing here, in the software and firmware, we got to have it do this and do that. And
it has to earn that L on the front there with the duplex reticle.
Okay.
Right? It has to earn it, right? So
Okay.
But it's been a passion project for a lot of folks for a lot of time, and that's what's great about developing product, I think, at Leupold, is that it's all these great people we have, but also people like you, right, and other people out in the field, and it's just as much ours as it is yours, and we're going to go share it with everybody very soon, which is super exciting. But at the very start of this many years ago, to be told, all right, we're going to go after making the best range finding bino, period, was a huge undertaking. But man, there's nothing that excites an engineering team more, and a marketing team, and an accounting team.
I don't know about the accountants.
The accountants didn't like make it the best period. Tell us when you're ready. The accountants didn't like that one as much.
Probably not.
Yep. So to be nearing this finish line and being able to share it with folks is now I think the most exciting part.
Yeah.
Right in that stage. Yeah.
No, I think I'm invited to something on Tuesday at the SHOT Show, I think, is when Colin and Kaylee told me to be there. I don't know. I'm like,
First day.
First
yeah,
day,
launch,
we'll be launching.
This?
That will be there.
Yep.
I got to get this podcast
Front and center.
published. Let's see, today's Wednesday. I got 6 days to get this podcast. If I want the scoop,
You got a
right?
scoop, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen. So, but there's so much. I mean, in the process, or this process of how you came about this, kind of like the VX5 HDs that I shoot so much of, the Mark IVs. That in itself is a story about how you guys do things. I've got to see it because something shows up in my, UPS guy. The UPS guy, he hunts and he knows exactly where I live and he knows who I am and he'll see one of your boxes. He's like, "What's in here?" I'm like, half the time when I say I don't know, I really don't know.
That's fair.
He probably thinks I'm being,
Well, it's a good
secretive or
UPS guy you have because the boxes keep showing up.
Yeah, they're still arriving. That's
Yeah,
good.
they're still arriving. Yeah.
Yeah, well, your marketing team, I've told them you have to send these to my house now. Scopes, rangefinders, binos, because if they show up here at the office and I'm out, I'm on a trip or whatever, I'm out hunting, I'll get an email and like, "Well, what do you think of those?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, they showed up here and one of the crew took them out and used them." I'm like, "I don't know." So, yeah.
Then they're all dusty by the time you get to see them. Yeah.
Yeah, but these ones, this pair in my hand has been to, you got a lot of time in Montana. Had a Colorado deer hunt, had an Arizona deer hunt, coos deer. So, sitting there, low light, coos deer with these on a tripod. Impressive. In fact, Andy, who was with me, he's like, "What am I even here for? You're spotting all the deer." Well, part of that is it was his first coos deer hunt, and it was probably my 6th or 7th coos deer hunt, and just knowing little bits and places.
Your eyes trained a little bit.
Yeah, but
Definitely the binocular.
absolutely. I did tell him I took these out of my harness. I'm like, "Try these," and he's like, "Yeah," like everybody, the crew, when I handed them to him, they're like, "Whoa,
Yep.
where got an extra one?" "No, sorry, not yet."
Not yet.
So you guys will use SHOT Show to announce to the world what this is, but I've had the benefit of using it. And I'm gonna have to tell you, Dustin, I almost, this is like confession or apology. There is so much in these that since I got them in October, I haven't had time to learn. I'll go through the modes, and you guys is in test flight, I think is what it was called. We sat down and we went through the whole thing, and I have 3 different loads programmed in here, and it's kind of cool when you do that, right? You hit it, and it does the angle, it does the distance, it does everything, and it's like, 2.2 mil. Whoa.
Yep.
So, but I do see a lot of things in there. I don't even.
There is,
I'm a low-tech accountant, so you're building this for somebody way more capable than I am.
Sure, yeah. There's a lot of features, but the main thought around a lot of our products is to make them feature rich, but really to have those features somewhat melt away, right? Not take away from the experience of hunting, right? You don't want to be fiddling with gadgets necessarily when you're out there hunting, and so being able, what's baked into here is a lot of advanced features, but things you can sort of turn on or off. And really customize for what you want to get done, whether you're on a PRS, stage, or NRL hunter, or you're out there in the field hunting, or you're just out there preseason and glassing. Fundamentally, though, right down at the core of everything is the best optical system that is out there. This range finding bino is the best in every category. From optics to the range finding engine to the technology that's in it, the ballistics package, our app that pairs with it. But there was never any point where we thought, hey, this isn't going to be the best glass and binocular that we're going to have in here. That's where it all starts. So for people that just want the best, optically to be able to take out there, and they want to be able to make precise shots and use, say, TBR, right? They don't have to turn on other features, but hey, they want a really fast ranging result, and be able to spot stuff, right? This is a great binocular if you want to be out there and running stages and, capturing multiple distances, getting full 4-off ballistics in there in your, NRL hunter match. This can do that, right, better than anything else out there as well.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the hardest thing about it. I mean, any one of those things is difficult, but to combine all of them into one and just have it work all seamlessly together, right, to where it's easy to run is, very challenging.
Well, I hope you don't ask for this pair back. They might. I don't know what happened to them. You guys have been, Newberg, I think we're going to terminate this relationship here. You don't care enough about our IP, but I can't imagine how much, well, there's the engineering that goes into all this, not just the engineering of design and features, but the engineering of how do you produce it and how do you produce it so it's going to last.
Yep.
That's going to meet all the standards you guys have. You talked about it is something that, as someone who shot his first NRL hunter match last May, I learned so much about why the NRL hunter PRS crowd wants all this ballistic stuff, wants all this quick target acquisition, all the things that, as a hunter, it's helpful, but I'm usually having shots less than 400 yards. Right. And I'm not trying to acquire 4 different targets at different positions. And so using that experience of how they use it, and they might look and say, well, I can't believe hunters do this. They throw them in the water, they run them over in the mud, they use them at the last 3 minutes of daylight. Because in an NRL match, you're in good light conditions, right? So all the things that you guys do personally, all the things that you guys have as people like me or John Pinch or others, we all have different perspectives. And you got to bring all of that into one end product that all of us find to be the best.
Well, one of the things that they did really well, so, Dustin was talking about having the different kind of groups of engineers, if you will. There's 80 some engineers, but that's from optics, electronics, quality, manufacturing. One of the components that's part of this is essentially having different consumer personas. So when we're going through and looking at this, how is your average hunter? So if I just say kind of you and I, we're gonna go on an elk hunt together. I'm not trying to see how far away I can precisely place a bullet or how fast. The speed can be a part of it. The animals are moving, but that's a different use case. So what we need to be able to do is see in really low light. We need to get precise ranging. We need to do a few things. We need to do it quickly, confidently, right now. And then you get an NRL hunter match, and so you take John Pinch or someone else, and he may want to mark 5 different targets that are in different directions with exact wind and holdover because they're trying to hit little tiny targets, not kill zones.
At way longer distances than you'd shoot at hunting.
Right. And so we need to look at all of those different things and essentially build up kind of different user personas. Say if I was trying to use it this way, what is the best feature set and the best way to tackle that? If I was trying to use it this way, what is the best feature set and the best way to tackle that? And so that's why, you get one of those and you tell us where you think the baby is ugly. I mean, I hate to phrase it that way. It's a tough thing. We sit here and work on this for years and years and years. We're like, perfect. It's right. You're just kind of like the Lion King, right? You want to hold it up and show the whole world. And then you hate these 5 things and John doesn't like those and those are at odds with each other. And, But that is the thing that ultimately makes it win. What are the ugly parts? What do we need to change? You can tell me the part that you love, but what I love about Dustin and his team and kind of the whole crew is they'll go through and tell you, I love this. The optics are amazing. We come back and say, what did you not like? We want that. And then you go to work on those, and that's how you get better every day. And that was part of how they tackled that, because what a daunting task. Try to pick every person that's going to pick this up and make it the most usable and the best for that particular use case. My dad uses it different than my daughter does, than you do, than I do, than Dustin does.
Well,
there's some interesting, I think, in the features too of those more advanced things that are happening with ballistics. This is a pretty unique ballistic solution that's being launched with this. So Hornady's Ford Off is baked inside. It's full ballistics that comes in the package. And then also precision cut archery that's in there. And both of those kind of have a pretty unique feature that really kind of combines back to just general hunters and shooters as well, which is, the ability to understand what your conditions are when you're zeroing your bow or your rifle and then you're taking out hunting.
Right.
And so what that is, on board there's sensors for pressure, temperature, humidity. And so when you're zeroing a bow or a rifle, lots of people might have had this, right? You put a target out 100 yards or 200 yards, you hit, dial it in, you're hitting right in the center, you're feeling great. I live at like 400 feet, elevation,
Right.
and I can go to Eastern Oregon and I'm up at 6,500 typically where I hunt. And you go into camp and you're like, all right, check zero, and you're off. And you're like, what's going on, right? Yeah. What that is the air density is completely different. And that actually changes, where your zero's at, right? Yeah. You could be hitting a couple inches high on your bow. Mm-hmm. And so inside of that, those particular ballistic programs take into account the conditions that you zeroed in. And so when you go up to those ranges or, temperature changes, pressure changes, most ballistic programs will calculate, after how the bullet flies through the air as you go out.
Right.
The additional piece is how your zero actually shifts.
Yeah.
If you're zero at like 20 degrees in Alaska, on sea level, and then you go up to 90 degrees on a 8,000 foot, your zero is actually different.
Right.
And so that's accounting for those things as well. And so, even if you're not running full ballistic solutions, but you're trying to shoot something at 200-300 yards, and, that could make a difference, whether you're hitting an animal or not, or making a good, ethical kill as well, right? So all those, even those really advanced features, just about everybody that can pick this up, no matter your skill set, it's going to, make you better, make you more confident right out there in the field for those things as well.
Yeah. Well, I would say this about whether it's my CDS styles on my VX5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's, there's just some things I don't have to worry about. Mm-hmm. And I'm focused on one thing: build the best shooting position, get my breathing and heart rate right, and wait for that good shot. And my mind is not worrying about my scope, or in this case, my bino was, did it read the right distance? Because you start having those distractions, and the outcomes usually aren't that consistent or that good.
No, you're there for a reason, and fiddling with gear is not it.
No, that's for sure. But the optic quality, I mean, the amount of low light stuff that we as hunters do. And the amount of time I spend in that first half hour of daylight, that last half hour of daylight, I tell the crew, don't be filming me doing anything then. That's like prime time. Yeah. So just leave me alone. And that's when you need that best optics, whether it's on your rifle, whether it's in your hand, whether it's, whatever. Anyone can, not anyone, but making an optic that seems pretty crisp and clear at 2 p.m, that doesn't require as much as at 5 minutes after legal shooting light.
Yeah,
5 minutes before the end of legal shooting light. And I know that's one of the Leupold trademarks is you guys put a lot of emphasis on that low light performance.
We do. And it's different wavelengths, and our eyes receive it differently, and all of those things. And any little bit of glare, that's a kind of a silent killer, if you want to call it that. But we're just focused on making sure that everything went the way that you wanted it to go. You didn't have to think about anything. I looked through my scope and I could see. I looked through my binocular and I could see. I needed a distance solution and I got it. Yeah. That's the main goal of any of this stuff there's a lot of engineering and tech and things that go into it, and you should never have to worry about it. Yeah. You should just do what you want it to do when you want it to do it, the way that you want it to do it.
Well, I have Dustin's email and phone number, so I'm not going to give that out. But
he's a good one to have on your side.
Yeah. But you know, when you guys sent me the first couple iterations, I felt bad because I know you're sending them to me to try kick holes in it, right? You're like, tell us what we can do better, what we can do wrong. And I'll be honest with you, the first one I got, I'm like, I expected there to be, you know, this would blink out, or this wouldn't happen, or it wouldn't have this, or whatever. And it took me a lot of time to come up with much to add. And you guys probably thought, what, he just put them in his glove box and he's not using them? We haven't heard from him. I mean, part of that is just there weren't a lot of missing parts. Okay. But then when I get the next iteration, I'm like, I didn't even know that was possible. You guys will be like, did you try that feature? No. Oh, what is it? So I'm sure your engineers are like, why do we even send stuff to that guy?
No, we appreciate the heck out of it, honestly.
I appreciate it because you guys, you trust us. And, you know, one of the things that is always difficult is you're talking about where the ugly parts of the baby, Tim. You know, you always feel bad when you're like, boy, I wish this did that, or have you thought about this? Because you wonder, are they going to think I'm just unappreciative of how much has went into this thing? I mean, their lives have been in this for years, and I don't want to sound like the guy who just walks in and says, what the hell are you doing there? Why didn't you do that? You know, so I always try to approach that with some caution, hopefully some tact. And
you should just hear how we talk about it internally.
Really?
I mean, I mean, you have to build a culture of that, right? And we've worked hard at doing that, which is, you're always striving to be better. We're you know, a pretty competitive company, right? Collaborative within the group and everything. But man, we love to compete. We like to make the best thing because we're going to use it. We like other people to, you know, put it through its paces and tell us what they think. And that's so important, right? To get honesty, right, from people like you. And that's why you're such a great collaborator, is that honesty piece, because it makes you better, right? And anybody that's done anything worthwhile, if they didn't have somebody in their corner giving them some honest feedback and encouragement, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess with this, is there the 20-second elevator speech that if a hunter says, well, why would I buy those? My answer would be because you want the best of everything in your hand, the optics, the range finding, the features. But is there...
That would be my answer, right, is when you're looking at this, you're going to get the best of all. Dustin says it very well. You're getting the best optical performance, the best ranging performance, the best ballistics performance, and then the best overall performance. It's going to work when you need it to, right? And so we're building these in full service, everything in Beaverton, Oregon. So if anything ever did happen, you're gonna get it serviced right there by us right away. Yeah. But realistically, the best part about any gear is that you don't have to think about it. So when we set out to do this, it was be the best at everything, or it comes out. It doesn't launch, and that can be frustrating on your side. But even the app itself, there's a lot of apps that are out there that are really hard to use, and they're very frustrating to the point where you probably cringed when we said there was an app.
I'll be honest with you, I did.
The last thing the last thing that I want on my phone for any reason is another app.
Right.
And so it's just like, ugh. So we thought it through. Do you really need one? The answer is no. That's why all the buttons, you've got that 5-directional button on there.
Right.
You can do it all that way. So that will stand alone in the field if you lose your phone, break your phone dies, whatever it is. But we want it to be super simple. Yeah. And so. Yeah. Well, and the integration with maps, it's pretty hard to do that without a phone. It has a map system. That gets a lot tougher. Yeah, it outweighs when the pros outweigh the cons, then we can proceed. You know. No, the pinning feature. I don't know what you guys call it. I call it pinning. But you know, I calibrate this, make sure I don't have it near a magnet that messes up the compass on this or my phone. Yep. And when I hit, and I hear beep, and I look on my phone, I'm like, man, this is almost cheating. But
when you're in the big western landscapes, it's like, which little finger is that where it's coming down? Because these things can range a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, they
so
can.
you're looking at it, you're trying to do 3D mode, or you're trying to this or that, and you're like, which one of these little fingers is it? There's 6 little fingers coming out here. Bing. Oh, 1,922 yards. Oh, that's right there.
Don't-
I know a lot of people are like, hey, man, that's almost like cheating. But it's a feature that's out there, been out there now for
Yeah,
in that space,
we launched
so.
that in the RX 5000, so in a kind of a
The
handheld
rangefinder.
monocular, and so another kind of great example of we're not going to do it if it's not right,
Right.
If it's not the best. Dropping a location on a map can be done, right? So you've got a rangefinder and you range it, and it says, okay, that was 1,000 yards away. Now point your phone roughly that direction, and we'll
do the
drop
line tool distant. Yeah,
and you're kind of guessing.
I've done that.
And we've all and it's been better than nothing,
Nothing,
right? And so the pinning, we won't send it out unless you're going to be within 25 yards per 1,000.
What does that mean?
So if I'm ranging 1,000 yards, and I put the pin, whether it's my handheld or this binocular, and I range just pick a thing, a rock, a fence post, or whatever it is. When I range that and it drops the pin,
Right.
for every 1,000 yards of distance, so if it was 1,000 yards away, if I just blindly, I'm not encouraging anyone to walk around in the woods
Right.
blind, but if I just blindly walk to that pin and stand on it,
Yeah,
just that fast, push the button, boom, walk to where that pin is on my map, I will be within 25 yards max,
Yeah.
right? So that's from one end to the other. So you're probably cutting that in half.
right.
So even out to 3,000 yards, which is kind of, for trees and some of that, we're reaching towards the end of the limit there. We'll range all the way out to 6,000 if you put it on a tripod and use the long range mode. But
Right.
so even out to like 3,000 yards, you're talking well over a mile, right? You're getting out there
Mile and a half.
talking,
even.
pushing 2,
Yeah.
and you're going to be, 75 yards maximum error.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, the way to convert that is if I'm deer hunting. This is one of the if I'm archery hunting, I have set up on the wrong tree or the wrong, okay, I think he's right here. I see him. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to crawl into position, wait for it to stand up.
Yeah.
If it was 3,000 yards away, I will still be within archery range.
Wow.
Now I don't want to take a 75-yard shot with my bow,
Right.
but I'm not off by 400 yards. And so that's when pinning becomes useful.
Right.
And so that was kind of the threshold that we set, and at worst, that'll be the accuracy you
Yeah.
get.
So ranging has gotten so precise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but pinning, what you're talking about, pinning, it's not just the rangefinder. It's the rangefinder and its interaction with the mapping
With the
software, the
map.
map itself, everything else. So some people say, well, it's off by 25 yards at 1,000 yards. Well, no, it's not the range finding that you're talking is.
No. So
it's-
actually, a lot of that is coming from, does your phone really know where you are?
Exactly.
Right. And so, so the big piece of this is that it has to know exactly where you're at. And
Right.
so we're taking that data from the phone.
Right.
And so the phone, when you have the app open, running in your back pocket, whatever it is, and you say, I want to pin this next one, the binocular is down to less than 1/10 of a yard. The rangefinders are very, very, very accurate.
Yep.
But does your phone know accurately enough that when I stretch this tape out at some angle,
Right.
up, down, left, right, from where I'm standing, and go out 3,000 yards, you can think about what even like a 1/2 degree variance would do. You're going to be shifted 50, 100 yards on the end of that tape measure if you had a 3,000 yard tape measure sticking out there. So a lot of that accuracy is actually limited by the phone and how well the phone knows exactly where you're standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that,
Yeah.
like the norm? Because a lot of other companies now have started this, I'll call it pinning, or some have anyhow. Is that accuracy level the norm, or is
No, we're without getting into big numbers, we're more than 5 times more accurate.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that who you work with, or is that proprietary? I don't want
Yeah,
you
yeah.
telling you guys make me
Yeah,
sign these
yeah.
non-disclosure things that time, so I don't.
That's
want,
on Dustin and
Yep.
his team. It has to do with calibration and how we're setting up that
Yep.
particular unit.
Okay.
And that's something that we kind of hold pretty near and dear to the vest, but it matters, right? And so trying to get to where do I pick up the blood trail, where do I, you know, some of those things. If you think about just looking out there at distance, a mile and a half, and I'm going to point to this thing and it's going to drop a pin exactly on it.
Right.
That was the goal, and that's what we've accomplished with that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, even in hunting, you take that shot across a drainage and it's only 350 yards, but you're going way down and then you're coming back up and you're trying to be like, all right, when I get over there, I got to figure out where that thing was standing, and it's getting dark. It might be dark when I get there.
Yeah.
I've used this and on your 5,000 rangefinder a couple times for things similar to that. By the time I get over there, it's going to be close to dark, and I'm going through the brush, and you might think you know exactly where it is, but when you got a big sea of pinyon juniper that all look the same,
Oh man.
you're lucky if you come within 100 yards of where it is when you climb back out of that drainage. And so things like that, and just a lot of practical application to it that I think help hunters.
Yeah, it helps a lot. And where we hunt in some of the public land just near the factory there,
Right.
it's very patchwork, right? So you've got some that's state forest, some that's BLM, and so you get up to high points, really steep. There's a lot of steep stuff and a lot of clear cuts, and so you can glass a ways, but it's okay. I found these elk. What land are they on?
Right? Is it
Public? Is it private? Is it all of those things you know immediately, so you can just range it. Nope. Okay, they need to cross that fence before I. Whatever it is, there's a lot of uses for it, but it needs to be accurate. It can't be just, well, they're to the northeast 1,000 yards. I mean, it needs to be down to the degree for up, down, left, right, all of it, and right here. So, just one example of all of it has to be right before we would chip it.
Yeah.
I've chased a lot of elk up the wrong drainage prior to this. I mean, going down, like you said, going down 1,500 feet, you spot something. I'm going down 1,500 feet at the bottom of something, then you're looking back up, and there's multiple, drainages coming in, and it looks completely different, right? And so being able to not only like locate an animal, but locate, hey, here's spots where I can get maybe another glassing point to get an update of maybe where something else is at, or hey, I want to make sure I go around this bend and not that one, right? So I don't get cliffed out or something. I mean, you're in steep terrain, so being able to do multiple pins to sort of say, hey, I think I want to go this way, to where you're down in there, it gives you that sort of guidance through your map.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an industry leading feature with the launch of the RX 5000, and nobody's even close to it. I mean, after 2 years. And that comes to, we have, a secret sauce is the technical term, but trade secret technology in how we build and calibrate this unit, and again that carries right over to the future products. It's right in that unit as well.
Yeah, because you send this to me, I look at it through the eyes and in the daily use of a hunter. But both you guys shoot matches or attend more matches than I do. You guys run around with more people involved in that stuff than I do. That's got to be a completely different use case. They're probably asking different questions, requesting different features. That you guys really have a challenge to try fit and synthesize. You used me and John Pinch, right? We shot that match together. I learned so much from John. It was unbelievable. I had no idea that you even could do some of the stuff he did.
Right.
And he's asking you guys, well, you fit that in here. And I'm asking you, well, whatever you fit in there, just make sure it works really, really good as possible. The first hour and the last hour of the day.
And people learn both directions. I mean, so like we talked a little bit about earlier between the hunting and the shooting side on what we do with the product stuff, we do find, so the system that I'll say that you and I would use most for placing a bullet is probably CDS, right? We're going to do our best to get very close, ethical shots. We want this to be a kind of a sure thing. It's interesting because sometimes you get into the crowd that does very long range precision type stuff, and they haven't been out there where the target moves. Right? Once I find it, there it is, and I know what my shooting solution is. And so it's fun for us to take kind of a very we'll call it shooting centric person. They love to hunt, shoot, but there's kind of two types of people. Those that would go to a flat range or a competition on their day off, and those that would go suffer in the mountains. And sometimes that's not the same person, sometimes it is. But we'll go out and do things like, we'll get questions like, why would you ever use CDS? Why would you use CDS if you have all these ballistics? And then we take them on a hunt and the herd's moving and doing this and they're adjusting and repositioning and they're holding out a kestrel and trying to get a wind reading. And so we take them on a range and say, okay, we're going to do a speed race, unknown distance, unknown targets out to 700 yards.
Right.
Go. And the guy with the CDS dial is done before the other one that's running dope for every shot is even on shot 2.
Yeah.
And then we switch and say, okay, now we're going to start at 800 yards and out, and you're going to do it in the morning and the evening when pressure and temperature changes, and the CDS guy is
be like,
where did that go? 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
And so that learning back and forth on all of it is, it's a big deal.
Well, I'm excited to see if the crowd gathers around the Leupold booth on Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I've got my whole Tuesday afternoon blocked out, so I'm going to be there. And,
Great.
You're giving these away for free that day, right? Is that what I heard, Dustin?
Almost.
This one right here.
That
We're giving
one right
this
there.
one away.
Oh,
for
mine? No.
Make sure you bring it and you carry on.
The crew
Auction
knows
it
that
off, yeah.
if there's such a thing as an untouchable in my gear kit.
That's the one.
Yep.
Huh?
No one's got to mess with these other than when I hand them to them and say, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And, this is another thing. I'm just looking at how my diopters are adjusted. And it got me thinking about focus on rifle scopes and stuff, because a lot of times when I'm out at the range, I see people struggling with their parallax, with whatever.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, did you adjust your focus to start with?
Your diopter.
What do you mean? And so sometimes, I've had LASIK surgery in 2007. My left eye is still, for long range, every bit of 20/20, maybe better.
Great.
But my right eye is adjusted for reading. So it's got a weird prescription. So if you grab my binos the way I've adjusted my diopters, you're going to be like, those are the crappiest binos I've ever seen. One eye works, the other one doesn't. And so it makes me wonder how many people, whether it's your product or someone else's, how many users just don't understand the importance of adjusting those things for you and your prescription, your vision right from the start, and then start worrying about your dial, start worrying about everything else.
It makes a massive
Yeah.
difference. So people will be complaining about this or that, and so you just grab their binocular or scope and have them walk them through it. Like, oh, you fixed them.
Yeah.
It really does matter. Those controls are on there for a reason.
Right. Yeah, the common one with the rifle scope is I'll see somebody, rolling their parallax. In your guys have distances on them. And I'll know the target they're at is 200 yards, and I'll see them out to 600 on their I'm like, you sure you adjusted that focus and that diopter before you started? What are you talking about? A lot of people think it just comes out of the box, adjusted for their eye. And, so you guys probably get some customer service calls. This thing just doesn't. I don't know how you'd tell a customer politely that, you didn't adjust it for yourself.
Yeah. Generally, because that was kind of where I started. So 20 years ago, 23 years ago, on the phone. And so you're trying to envision things because there was no video chat. There was none of that.
Right.
Generally, though, I would say that there is a consensus amongst people that use this hunting and shooting gear that they really do just want to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I just want the problem solved. I don't really want to, complain or any of those things. It's, our word is our bond handshake type of group of people. So generally when they call, have you tried doing this? You can almost feel a pause, like, hold on, is anybody watching? I don't know what that's for. They don't want to admit that.
Hey,
What is that
does.
for? And I just, if we could put one thing out there, just be open and honest about it. Like, I don't know what this control does. Why is it on there? And so most of the time, have you adjusted your diopter? Pause. what's that?
Yeah.
And then we walk them through it. And then a lot of times they'll have it right there. You can hear them. They're in their basement. They're in their living room, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
well, hey, while I got you, what does this knob do?
Yeah.
Well, I got it. And so that's the type of thing that with us even having that group sitting right there, we can do, hey, what are your number one phone calls? Those are getting pushed to us. They get pushed to us in marketing. They get pushed to Dustin in engineering. And so the best questions are the ones that never get asked.
Yeah.
So if we can eliminate that or make it more simple or more intuitive or whatever that is, so people never know that you needed to twist that because it's never been out of adjustment, right? Stuff like that, and that is that's part of the deal, but that is a big one, especially honestly on binos, because there's no reticle in most binoculars to set the vision.
Correct.
On a range finding binocular, you do have a display,
Yeah.
and so that gives you something to focus in on. But you're again focused on that reticle, not necessarily the image behind it.
Yeah.
So all those controls make a big difference.
Yeah, it always makes me think if someone ever stole my binos, they'd probably bring them back and say, these things aren't worth the crap. I'm
out of
sorry I
alignment.
stole them out of your truck. Well, that's because the diopters for me are set so much different than probably anyone else. But anyhow, at Chacho, what else is going to be the rollout? Is it just the BX6 range HDs? Or?
We've got a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, there's quite a few new things. VX4 is something that Dustin and the team worked really hard on. So BX, this is a BX for B for binocular. Yep. And then with our rifle scopes, the VX series is generally designed for hunters. So gold ring, rear focal plane, second focal plane. And we have a VX4 HD line coming out. And so we've had a Freedom 3, 5, and 6 in there. And this VX4 is a brand new, kind of from the ground up, everything designed for us. And it's a 4-to-1 zoom ratio. So 3-to-12, 4-to-16.
Right. And if people wonder what a VX3 means, it's 3-to-9, 5-to-15. A VX6 is 3-to-18, 4-to-24. It's the ratio.
Yeah, it's the multiplier. So
So if I had a look on my face like I'm kind of left out of the loop, I did not know you guys were coming out with the VX4 until today. Is that like top secret Skunk Works lab
wasn't
material?
top secret. We were just going to tell you at SHOT Show, and now it's kind of close enough. And I've got half of the marketing team, not actively because they're not listening right now, but they would be yelling at me for talking about it. 'Cause it's not SHOT Show yet. But no, that's it's on the list, and we will be talking about that at SHOT Show, and we'll be pushing those out in kind of mid-February. For product availability is a little different than when we talk about it. We want people to be aware of it, and then we'll start getting it out to dealers, and that'll be mid-February.
Yeah. So with that, so we talked about how VX6, top of the line, feature rich, robust, just like anything you would ever want. Here it is. VX5 is every feature that you need and not features you don't need. Is the VX4 kind of following that same pattern where, all right, there's certain ways we can do this. We can maintain a super high performance, but the pricing, I mean, I'm just going on the logic that the pricing tier starts the highest at the 6, then the 5, now the 3. Is the 4 going to fall between the 3 and 5?
It pricing? Is. Yep. So it'll fall in between. And one of the easiest ways to kind of explain that is the higher the zoom ratio. So VX6, I'm going to kind of make up some scopes here.
Okay. Yep.
So if you have a VX3, that would be a 3-to-9.
Yep.
If you have a VX4, that would be a 3 times 4 is 12, 3-to-12.
12. Yep.
VX5, 3-to-15, VX6, 3-to-18. That's kind of the multiplier.
Right.
In general, as you stretch that zoom ratio, you're working the objective glass harder. And when I say working it harder, meaning if you want the same image quality, you need to really work on tolerances of the design, the type of glass that's in place, some of those things. So if you go the opposite direction and say, I want to get the same image quality out of a 4-to-1 zoom rifle scope, you're going to be able to do that for less money than you could on a 6-to-1 zoom ratio.
Okay.
So to kind of flip this on its head, if you said, okay, I want a 10x zoom ratio, so now it's a 3-to-30.
Whoa.
In order to get the same image quality at 30 that you would get at on a 3-to-9, that you're working that glass a lot harder. That's why super high, magnification. So astrology telescopes, other things, they get big, they get long. There's a whole bunch of different things that happen. So you can either space the lenses farther out, and you and I do not want a 10-foot long rifle scope, or you're starting to work all of those kind of tolerances and glass properties harder and harder and harder. So what you're seeing here is the VX6 is a 3-18, for example,
Right.
and it's going to cost a certain amount to give you that true HD quality, the edge-to-edge clarity, the pop, the low light performance, all of that. Just in glass alone, we can do that easier in a VX5. And then you can do it again easier in a VX4.
Okay.
And so you're seeing kind of that same idea of the intersection between, value and performance, or price and performance. And then you're going to see some of the other adjustment styles, so like the levers that are on the VX5, that feature that you love, right, for changing your dial. Some folks say, hey man, I shoot one type of ammo. I shoot in my home area, right? I don't travel everywhere. I don't need to be changing my dial. Well, the lever, the SZL2 type dial, does cost more. So you're, again, just getting another option of picking how many of these things do I want. In car terms, do I want carpet? Do I want leather seats? Do I want a moon roof? What really matters to you? And zoom ratio is, Dustin can correct me on this, but zoom ratio is, if you're going to keep optics good, there's a key. If you're going to keep the same optical performance, as you go up in zoom ratio, you will spend more. And so, I mean, a 4-16, that's going to get you a lot of what you need. A 3-12, that'll get you a lot of what you need. But you don't go from 3 all the way up to 18. So we're just kind of trying to make it to where, what do you need? What's best for you? And here are your options, and here's what those cost.
Yeah, I mean, there's
did I
one more.
miss,
Well,
Dustin?
there's just one more option, which is you can let the quality of the image fall off, slide. Leupold doesn't do that, right? But if you actually look at some competitive optics or things that are cheaper, other things, right, and you maybe have a big zoom ratio, if you notice, you crank that up, you will notice a lot of times a really big degradation in. It's like somebody turned off the lights up when you're getting up at, like, even the 12s, or if they're going up to 18s or in the 20s or something. And so we don't do that, right? We're so focused on this heritage of hunting low light. That's when everything counts. And if you need to zoom on something and the little light that you have goes out, why even make that, right? Why even release it from a factory? So that is the piece of the higher zoom ratios, again, exactly what Tim said, and maintaining that image quality through that whole range, right? There's nothing that falls off on either side of it. We could make a 20x erector, but on both sides, right, it's really not that great, not that usable unless it's midday, right? How many, I've shot maybe one or two midday. The one that wasn't smart coming back home, right, to bed. But
you have to be sitting in the lunchtime shuffle for it to work.
But yeah, when it's game time, right, that first half hour light, last half hour light, you want to make every bit of those light rays count. And physics doesn't change. Right, light physics hasn't changed since in my lifetime, and those are the rules, right, that you're playing behind. So,
coming from an engineer, physics doesn't change.
Physics doesn't change. Right?
Us accountants, a lot of things change. We'll make that work.
Let's move that number into that column. That's fine.
Well, it'll be interesting to come into the booth and see if there's a mosh pit of people like there was when you did the Mark IV. Holy cow, that was one of the most impressive things I've seen on SHOT Show. And that whole SHOT Show, I don't care who you talk to, people see me wearing my Leupold hat or whatever. Like, oh, you work for Leupold? Well, not really. Man, I saw that Mark IV. I got to get one of those. It was the talk. And you guys are pretty good at capturing a lot of the volume there.
There'll be a lot of excitement at this show. Tim's team has done an awesome job. I've seen the renderings of what the booth is going to look like. There's some new, displays and images. There's some really awesome sort of heritage around some rifles and shadow boxes on one side that just show what our optics have done for folks out there. And this has a nice little pedestal, pretty much in the center of the booth there. A lot like along those pronghorn pedestals
Yeah.
you showed us over there, something
in
like
my
that. So,
office. Yeah, I got a pronghorn problem. So anyone who's wondering, the crew, when they hear this now, they'll probably go in there and film it. But in our conference room, if you make the Boone and Crockett record book officially, not like you and your buddies over a beer,
Yeah.
used a stretched out tape measure or a tightened out tape measure, they get put on a custom black walnut pedestal. And just about everybody who walks into that office, that room, has the same response, like, whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are big antelope pronghorn.
I feel pretty blessed
Yeah.
that I get to do that. But every one of those were shot
Mm-hmm.
with a Leupold scope.
All right.
Yep.
We
There
love
you go.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one on the far left was shot with a VX3. The second one from that was shot with your old, what was your 6-power straight?
It's been an M8
Yeah, it was a straight
or
6-power.
yeah. There were
And a
FX, there were
six.
FXs and there were
FX6s,
M's,
yeah.
depending on the
Okay.
age.
And then the one next to that was shot with a VX5, and the one next to that was shot with a straight 6.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I was old school, and
I love that.
When your guys,
That's really
How
impressive
many
that
were
you're just
gloss
off.
finish?
Yeah.
Were any of them glossy finish?
no, they were
Okay.
all matte finish. Yeah. But there's, I don't know if I've ever told the story. I've told some of you guys personally. I've never told the story, I don't think, on the podcast about how I got to shooting Leupold scopes when I was a kid. I grew up in this little town, logging town of 500 people, and everyone had a 30-30. A Marlin or a Winchester. You could tell right away, he's a Marlin guy, right? Because it ejects out the side. He's a Winchester guy because it ejects out the top. And my dad was one of the crazy guys who had a Weaver 4-power with the see-through mounts underneath it.
Yep.
And hunting thick brush in northern Minnesota, it was just, if you're going to have a scope, you needed to have something you could see underneath it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, the guy who owned the hardware store in our town, a guy named Owen Gordon, was a captain in World War II. And he came back and he taught hunter education. And if you went out to our little shooting range, which was served mostly as a gravel pit rather than a shooting range.
Okay. I know the type.
Yeah. There was a little picnic table with a boat cushion.
Oh, perfect.
And that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you went out there, Owen would show up and he'd have multiple rifles. He'd have sandbags. He'd reload all his own stuff. He's the only guy I knew who didn't go down to the hardware store, that he owned the hardware store, and say, I'll take a box of that.
Right.
And even though those are 160 grain, last year you got a few left over that were 150 grain. That's good enough, Mix and match or whatever. Anyhow, I remember everyone in town thought if you had a real rifle or accuracy problem, you go see Owen. In every scope he had, your gold rings were so thin back in the 70s, you couldn't hardly even see them.
Yeah. Very X2s.
Yeah.
And they had the high gloss finish.
Yep.
And that's what he had on all of his rifles. And I'm thinking, if the dude who owns the hardware store, who sells rifles and sells scopes, this is what he's using, I need one of those. So if people are going to laugh like how old this was, or the old school this is, you'd go into the store and he had a great big book that he'd open up and he'd look like that's part number, and it probably had his price, and then he'd tell you what your price would be. And he's like, I'll order it. It'll be in on the truck next Tuesday. I mean, that's how it was. Well, I found out what one of those costs. And I'm like, oh, man. So I mowed lawns pretty much all summer when I was 14.
I believe that.
Yep.
And I went in there. I'm like, and I'd really like one of those scopes with that gold ring on that, because I just got a new 30-06. A Remington Model 742. Woodsmaster.
Yeah.
Semi-auto with about a 40-pound trigger on it. I mean, it wasn't going off by accident. Let's just put it that way. And I had a Tasco scope on it. And, I mean, when you're a high school kid, and, a $19 scope, that'll work.
Yeah. I can see through it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
But anyhow, I saved up all this lawn mowing money, and Owen told me, he said, I'll mount it for you. And he bought the hardware and everything and got it all mounted for me. And he asked me when I was going out to the range, and I told him, and he was out there, and he helped me get it zeroed. And
Great.
that was my first Leupold scope. And
That's awesome.
1978, 79, somewhere in there. So,
I love it.
yeah. And then I just started using them and using them and using them, and I really fell in love with your straight 6 powers. They were so simple, so easy, so clear at all conditions.
Yep.
I killed a lot of elk, a lot of pronghorn, a lot of mule deer with those.
Those
And
are
now I look at-
magic combination, that 6x42.
Yeah. And now I look at the stuff that I'm shooting. It seems like I'm in the space shuttle compared to what I was shooting just 20 years ago that I had out of your product line. But so that's kind of my story of how I ended up. And I regret that I sold that rifle with that scope on it. Because now that I have such a long relationship with you guys, I'd love to say, this was it.
This is the one.
This is when it started. But so some guy probably still has it sitting in
He's
his
running it,
closet.
yeah.
What's that?
I'm sure he's running it, not knowing
It's
it was
working
yours.
just- yeah.
This is
Yeah,
it.
I don't know, man. That trigger was it got cold, especially because of all the parts moving in that semi-auto. But there's guys who still swear by them.
There are. We get plenty of phone calls for, this is what I've got. I need new mounts.
Need mounts,
You guys
yeah.
stripped the screws or
Yeah.
lost one. Or
Yeah. So, no, I just feel really blessed with, a company like you guys trusting us. I look at our contract, and this gets into maybe more details than what people wanted to know or need to know, but I think it's important. Is one of the first deliverables in the contract is I'm going to paraphrase, be your ears and eyes in the conservation, public land, and access space. And it doesn't say I need this many clicks, this many likes, this many views, whatever. It mostly says keep doing what you're doing. And that's just so, it means a lot to me. It makes it so easy for us to show up here every day and say, okay, what are we doing for hunting? What are we doing for conservation? What are we doing for public lands? Because that's what companies like Leupold want us to do. And that, I don't know, maybe that's a unique thing in our space. I don't get to see other people's contracts, but I know what my contract says. And to have a company that's what they want me to do, I got the best job in the world. You guys are competing for second place for the best job in the world.
I'm down to a bronze medal, aren't I?
Yep.
Hey, we're all on the podium.
Well, we appreciate it, Randy. I mean, honestly, we're the lucky ones in this. We drive the desks. We eat, sleep, and breathe it as much as we can.
Yeah.
But if we don't catch it and you don't catch it, then that means someone who paid for it caught it.
Yeah.
And that is not what we want. And
Yeah.
so you helping us, is really what allows us to do what we do.
Yeah.
And so we're the lucky ones in this whole thing. You keep doing what you're doing. Tell us where we can improve. The feelings at minimum is mutual, but I think we're getting the good end of that for sure.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I just hope that someday I don't show up and ask for a visitor's badge and they're like, sorry, your name's not in the system anymore, Mr. Newberg.
Not going to happen.
So, no, I really appreciate it. And I hope the audience, for me, I want them to understand what a family-owned business that's committed to their employees, committed to their community, committed to this country, committed to so many things. If you walk in that Leupold factory, your values are written on the walls everywhere.
Everywhere.
No one's working at Leupold and not understanding what the values of that company are. Either that or you can't read.
No. I mean, even down to Bruce does every single new employee that comes through those walls as part of the new employee orientation and the core values that you talk about.
Yeah.
They hear it directly from, in person, our CEO.
Yeah.
And that's the way that the family, the company, the shareholders, that's how everything runs there, and so that's why we're pretty confident when we talk about at least how much we enjoy working there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that there's still brands that are in our space doing it the way you guys are. Family owned, American made. I mean, what did you tell me before, Tim, that if it's something you squeeze a trigger and it goes out the end of a rifle or barrel, it's made in Beaverton,
It's
Oregon.
made in that factory.
Am I correct?
You are. So if you're going to look through that optic and use that as your aiming device, so if it gets mounted on a firearm and you look through it and you pull the trigger, it comes out of our factory right there in Beaverton, Oregon. Yeah. That is the moment of truth. That is the last point of control you have over that bullet.
Yeah.
And whether that's hunting, whichever field you're in, out in the field with your family, on the battlefield, whatever it is, that is the last point of control you have. Yeah. And that is the moment of truth, and it will come out of our Beaverton, Oregon factory, period. Wow. Yeah. There is no getting around that. There are no negotiations on that point.
That is so cool, because I go there and I see the investment you guys have made in technology, and Dustin, looking at your engineering crew and then going to the manufacturing and production people. These aren't folks who just are there like, oh, it's a job. You can tell every one of them take their job seriously. They have really difficult jobs. I mean, the talent level it takes to do every step of the transaction or of the process. You're not going to show up at Leupold and just be, leaning against a broom pole.
No.
You're not going to cut it.
Yep.
Because you guys need talent.
We do.
And you have it.
Yeah.
Down
at the machinist level, they're understanding the metrology, how to machine, but they're also computer programmers these days, right? They have to program computer code to get the machine to work the correct way. And so, they could reprogram, probably the app on the phone type of stuff, right? But they love machining parts and understanding how parts go together, like those mechanical skills with computer skills and everything else. I mean, it's a lot of talent all the way down on the floor of the people we have.
Yeah. 750. Talented people.
And it doesn't work. You pull one out and it doesn't work.
Right. And that's where sometimes you almost have to contrast, because people could take for granted what we just talked about there. But if I wanted to start a competing optics company and get in the market right away, it's easy to do if I had the capital, I'd go overseas, probably to Asia, and there's 2-3 factories that make the majority of sporting optics in the world.
Yep.
And I'd say, okay, I want one that's slightly different than this competitor that you're making here in the same factory. I need this variation, I need 3 to 9. I got to have 5 to 20. And I want these 4 reticles. It's kind of like a menu, check the box.
It is.
Here's our logo. Make sure when you box everything up, you put our logo on it, not our competitor's logo, because we know you're making our competitor's stuff in the same factory. And get them on the ship and get them over here. And I say that because you guys don't do it that way.
No.
And most of your competitors do it that way. And I get it, right? It's supposedly higher margin for them, for everyone in their chain, or that's part of their value proposition, right? Is low cost. Well, low cost usually means low performance. And I need performance when I'm on that hunt of a lifetime, and I'm on in that situation where something special is about to happen. I don't know anyone who ever said, boy, I wish I would have bought a lower performing rifle scope. What the hell was I thinking dragging this premium Leupold out here for? I really wish I would have had some fuzzy interference at that low light. No one says that.
No.
So
it has to work.
I know you guys are very respectful of your competitors and your competition, and you guys understand that business is business, but I feel that passionately about it. When I get the chance to talk about it, I just tell people, I've been in that factory. I know those people who work there, and I'm bleeding black and gold. Because you guys,
we appreciate that.
Yeah, as someone who I share a lot of these same feelings about, I want to see as much stuff manufactured in the U.S. as we can. I want to see American jobs, especially good American jobs for people who want to show up and work hard like you guys have. I'm on board with all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So when I see it in person, it's like, I'm happy to be in. I'm glad they even let me in the door. So, have you guys ever had that? What's that guy's name? Mike Rowe. He used to have dirty jobs.
Yeah.
He talked about all this.
Yeah, we haven't had him out there. I always thought it would be perfect. Yeah.
Any of you people watching or listening know this Mike Rowe guy? Tell him he needs to go to the Leupold factory in Beaverton, Oregon, if he wants to talk about all those. Because I love his stuff.
Me too.
I think
I'd
he's
love
great.
to see it. Yeah.
I just, whenever I hear him or see him, I'm like, when's he going to make it to Leupold?
Yeah.
Everything he talks about, everything that he gets my attention with it. It's there in spades in Beaverton. We could take him hunting. I don't know if he hunts. We could get him. We could get him going.
We could do it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll feed him some elk burgers or something.
Yeah, that's how it
Whet his
starts.
appetite.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an avid hunter. I don't know.
We'll have to bring him here. I know how much you like to hunt in the rain. So probably won't be Western Oregon
No,
at least.
I'd not. Yeah, me and hunting in the rain, that's, I don't know why I'm that way, but there's a reason I live in Bozeman, Montana, where we get 300 days of sun a year.
Yeah.
And no snow.
Apparently no snow.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird because I grew up in the Cascades.
You get
37 degrees and raining the whole season. I don't know why you wouldn't like that, Randy. I loved every minute growing up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was out there in November duck hunting. I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did stop by for a little bit, talk to Kaylee and Colin, and it rained so hard. I mean, even I expect a little bit of rain or misery when I'm duck hunting. That took it to a new level. I'm like, man, I don't need to duck hunt 3 days in a row. I've had my fill of this cold rain 2 days.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been colder than 36 degrees and just raining and being out. Like
98%.
I could be out there in 20 or 0 degrees with a nice puffy and there's some sun or something, right? But yeah. I've never felt colder than being just above freezing.
Well, guys, thanks so much for your time. Thanks
Thank you.
for stopping by here.
You're
I don't
welcome.
know how I lucked out that
Pleasure.
I said we should do a podcast at SHOT Show, and your people said, oh, they're going to be in Bozeman. I'm like, what? They come in to see me and no one's telling me about that? They don't tell me about their new VX4 HD. They don't tell me they're going to be in town.
Just chasing some sun.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
No, anything we can do to come out and visit you. I mean,
Yeah.
come see
absolutely.
you and this place and Bozeman all together right before SHOT Show.
Okay.
We're in.
That's great.
Yeah, just don't come after SHOT Show because you'll be carrying,
Yeah, who knows?
Istanbul stomach flu or something.
You got to get all the immunity so we don't get sick during hunting season. That's how I look
there
at
you
it,
go.
right? You just build it up all now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly
thanks
right.
for all the work, Dustin, that goes into something like this. It's so easy to take for granted. I mean, even a rifle scope, right? Most people probably think your rifle scopes are, that can't be that hard. When I was there last summer, you guys had me walk through, and you guys made it look, act like you're doing this, Randy, or grab that tool. Folks, if you see me, quote unquote, building a scope in the Leupold factory, right over my shoulder is one of their highly talented people saying, lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. But the point of that is getting to see it from start to finish, from machining the tubes to the, all the CNC machines to the talented people you got there looking through all these. They look like microscopes, and they're lining everything up. And
Collimators.
Yep.
is that what they're called? Okay.
Yep.
And, I mean,
gluing
from
little
that,
fibers to make fire dots on the
people
reticles.
assembling things with little tweezers, wearing rubber gloves in a dust-free environment, and putting the nitrogen in there, and the testing, submerging it, and then smashing it up and down. It's like, well, don't take it easy on that. And then people are like, I ain't gonna hurt this. So I get to see that and see how over the years you guys have refined it, and it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So now you'll be able to sell tours of the Leupold factory.
I would love to. I wish that there was a good way to get
Yeah.
There's so much involved, right? I mean, reticles used to be made out of black widow spider webs, and we're doing that. We're building the reticle. That's all happening right in there, and it's just so cool once you get a chance to go through and see it. And I still remember my first tour before I worked there, and it's impactful. So,
It is for me every time I go there, and everyone who's worked there, who's went there because they're along with me to film, they're like, I had no idea. I'm like, neither did I. So, yeah, people probably drive by and say, what's that building up there on the other side of the road that's got that gold L with the reticle? What is that?
Yeah.
If they only knew what was going on in there.
There's a little bit of folklore. So our optical engineering team has a board beside the building, and there's a number of things like Air Force resolution charts, a full spectrum of different colors, so we can do a quick eyeball check right there, and you can kind of see it from the highway. And so every once in a while, you'll give somebody a tour. There's like a deer, an image of a deer jumping. It's just a whole bunch of things that you can look at. So you can do a quick optical, visual check. And every once in a while, you'll bring somebody through like, oh, that's what that thing. There's a little bit of local folklore, like what is this weird board beside the highway? And it's, what is it, 30, 40 yards long and 10 feet tall or something.
Yeah.
That's what that thing is. Oh, that makes, because it's just out of place.
Well, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it. Everyone, thanks for listening. Watch for these new products coming out. And if you want to support a company that's supporting you in hunting and conservation and shooting, you don't have to look any further than Leupold.
Thanks, Randy.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.